Facts are facts. The fact is, Donald Trump is weak and I still am unsure he'll be on the ballot this fall. But we cannot ignore him. He's a New York sewer rat fighting for survival and we can't feed into his frenzy. We too have to walk a tightrope. We have to report facts without feeding Trump. So, Trump's story cannot be told by feckless reporters who have no idea of context or factual information. If that doesn't trip your trigger, consider Hunter S. Thompson in his eulogy for Richard Nixon. As long as Nixon was politically alive, and he was, all the way to the end, we could always be sure of finding the enemy on the low road. He had the fighting instincts of a badger trapped by hounds. The badger will roll over on its back and emit a smell of death, which confuses the dogs and lures them in for the traditional ripping and tearing action. But it is usually the badger who does the ripping and tearing. It is a beast that fights best on its back, rolling under the throat of the enemy and seizing it by the head with all four claws. So, again, it boils down to us in the press to communicate what is possible and what is at stake. The major players remaining in the GOP primaries, former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, should do the same. But they are ill-equipped for such a battle because they have tried to walk a tightrope between embracing the lunatic wing of the Republican Party while trying to set themselves up as viable alternatives to Trump. The only GOP candidate who had that ability to speak to the facts about Trump was former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, and he's gone from the race, though his exit was a drama worthy of a screenplay. The struggle to defeat Trump this fall therefore revolves around the ability to hold his feet to the fire every single day, whether it is on the campaign trail, in a courtroom, or in the court of public opinion. Reporters have to step up to the plate and call out his vile villainy for what it is. She is, in the immortal words of Vincent Gambini and Mona Lisa Vito, dead on balls accurate. American journalists are a weak and cowardly bunch, for the most part, and thus miss the central point of what occurred this week in Iowa. As Mary Trump pointed out in a post on X, Donald is weak. Or as H.L. Mencken pointed out years ago about many reporters, he prints balderdash because he doesn't know how to get anything better, perhaps in many cases, because he doesn't know that anything better exists. Drenched with propaganda at home, he is quite content to take more propaganda from Washington. It is not that he is dishonest, but that he is stupid, and, being stupid, a coward. So, he lashed out Wednesday in court. Donald Trump, fresh from his overwhelming victory in Iowa, his campaign's words, had to suffer Wednesday from the reality of a New York courtroom where E. Jean Carroll is taking him to task for defamation. This, of course, after a jury previously found Trump sexually assaulted Carroll and defamed her. So the current trial isn't about guilt or innocence, that's already been determined. Trump's sojourn back into civil court is all about the money, and that doesn't make him happy. He wants you to believe he's already won the general election, even if he ends up in prison this fall. Trump's house of cards is starting to crumble.